Listeners, thanks for joining us on the eve of the season. They had no coach, no captain and no major sponsor. Now North Melbourne has left no doubts that they are very much the pace setters of the season. Later we'll be joined by one of the Rouge's young veterans who's seen and experienced the hard times and is revelling in his side's newfound glamour status. But first it's a big welcome to the Footy Show panel. Everyone, I guess, pretty much should be smiling, except for one, and there's no points in guessing who that ought to be.
Listen, Max, I'm not making excuses, but those two umpires murdered Collingwood yesterday. We only lost by 85
you can't
points.
bag the umpires, Louis.
At any rate, I don't brag for Collingwood, I brag for North Melbourne.
I don't believe that.
Louis.
You can't be serious.
85, didn't we?
83.
Did you miss me,
83.
Lou?
I knew you'd correct me, Sam. You can't help yourself.
Louis, did you miss me?
Okay, let's just, before we get down to business, if we could, of course, all the talk is about North Melbourne, including Louis. Resounding winners over Collingwood by 83 points. The Eagles held off St Kilda by just 2 points at Waverley, while Hawthorn found Western Oval far from a bogey ground. Carlton was convincing against Melbourne. The Swans never troubled Richmond, and that thriller on Friday night went the way of Essendon. But I guess there was no more vital match yesterday than at Waverley between two talented teams on a losing streak. And for Ken Sheldon and St Kilda, more heartbreak. Ken, welcome to the Footy Show. Let's not beat around the bush. After 5 straight losses, are you fighting for your coaching career?
Oh, no, I don't think so, Max. You know, coaches have been through those situations. I think the club is actually in a situation where it's really showing strength and sticking together closer than it's perhaps ever done before. Sure, we've had 5 losses and a lot of questions are being asked, but had we won yesterday by the narrowest of margins, they still would have been asked anyway. So people are going to talk about what they're going to talk about, and what will be.
It must be a real pressure time at the club with all of the rumours and the difficulty to focus. But as you say, 2 points, you slide down to 13, and it is improving though, isn't it?
Well, I think that's, you know, the real positives out of yesterday were simply that, Max, that, you know, we did present ourselves very, very well, and we're unfortunate not to come home with a win.
Kenny, sorry.
Yes, Ted?
I was just going to say, as a coach, Ken, why didn't you interfere with the Winmar incident? You had very little to say about it.
Yeah, well, Ted, as a coach, you're in a no-win situation with those things. You know, you're simply in a no-win situation, so you're better off sitting back and making sure that everything in your domain is in proper control.
How far do you reckon that was unsettling to the team? Because really you beat Collingwood at Collingwood, which is a great effort, and then the Winmar thing came up and everything's been downhill since then. Is it a major factor in the unsettling of the club?
Well, unfortunately, Dermot, we haven't won a game since that you know, reaction. So, you know, people will say what they're going to say, but you know, we've really worked very hard over the last few weeks to get things back on track. And if we continue more of the same, you'll see a difference in Club Football Club.
You were happy with yesterday's
Oh, most definitely.
Now,
most definitely.
Ken, there were some uncharitable things said by both parties in the Winmar, you and he. There seemed to be some bantering of comments. He didn't seem to have too much confidence in you, and you said that he's dug his own grave and he can lie in it.
Oh, no, I never said that at all.
Well, now this gets on to the next thing, the rumours. No, well, well, there are plenty of rumours around, and this is one of the occupational hazards of being a coach, I suppose. But, you know, one of the rumours is that you're going to get the sack in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Of course I've heard that.
Yeah.
You know, as I say, people are going to say what they're going to say. But, you know, clearly I will say that, you know, I've never had more confidence than I have now with the St Kilda Football Club. Like, they really are knitting together
really backed
well.
You?
Really knitting together well.
And the players?
And the players. And, you know, yesterday was a fantastic effort by all.
What about Stewie Lowe going into defence in the 3rd quarter, Ken? What was that move for?
In the last quarter?
Last quarter, sorry.
Yeah. Well, just to get Stewie's confidence up. You know, he dropped a few unfortunate marks yesterday, and we put him in there just to get his momentum going, and it worked.
Ken, what do you think was the turnaround for yesterday? I mean, a couple of bad weeks previously and bigger losses, and then yesterday a really spirited performance. What do you put it down to?
Well, a hell of a lot of things, Simon. You know, but what I put it down to is, well, you know, where do you point the finger? You know, I think it's a pointless exercise in just going bang. You know, what we're about is tomorrow, and you know, yesterday was a significant improvement in our away
Well,
you know,
Ken, that's you said it's an improvement yesterday. Granted, it's still a loss. You're 13th on the ladder halfway during the season. Where do you see St Kilda being at the end of the season? I mean, is it unrealistic?
In the final, Simon.
Is not unrealistic to think that?
No way at all.
Do you
Top three will be.
Do you ever look at North Melbourne, Ken, and say why? Why are they doing so well?
Of course you have a look at North Melbourne and ask why.
You had a crisis meeting last week. Russell Morris was in here, came straight from it, said that there was some very pointed and direct things said by both parties, players to the coach and coach to the players. Did that resolve anything?
Well, it was a hell of a lot better performance yesterday.
Yes.
And, you know, if we do more of the same, I'm sure you'll see St Kilda in the finals this season.
Ted, you were at the game yesterday. You had a look at it. Completely unbiased point of view. How did you see their performance?
Oh, I thought their performance by St Kilda was very, very good. It was a low-scoring game up until half-time, but then after half-time they started to get into the action part of the football, and West Coast started to play a lot better. I thought that St Kilda had every chance to win the game, particularly up forward. At one stage they were very loose there, and I do agree that Lowe dropped a lot of marks early in the first half, but they came back. And they had some... I just thought some of the players around the centre area, the on-ball players, there's Lockett who kicked 5. I reckon he could have kicked 6 or 7 for the day. And, of course, Lowe in the last quarter had a chance of winning the game from 50 metres out. He had 2 chances, actually, and he failed to put it through. And they ran out winners by 2 points, the West Coast Eagles, but it was a very spirited performance by the St Kilda side.
With the kicks at goal, I mean, it was a blustery day. On a normal day, would they have been easier? Do you think there was a hard kick for goal for both places?
I spoke to Stewie Lowe, and Kenny probably has also too since the game's finished. And he said, here's Stewie Lowe coming in now. I suppose this is the kick that could have won the game for St Kilda. And he was well off target. He said the ball started off on line towards the goals, and you can see the disappointing look on Lowe's face there. And of course, there he goes again. Gee, you wouldn't want to be a lip reader.
Ted,
yes.
Ted, you've been in this position, but when a side goes badly, why is the coach always blamed? Never the committee or anyone else. Why is it always the coach?
Very good question.
That's the thing.
Louis.
If he kicks the goal, everyone's a hero.
Why is the coach always blamed?
Well, I think it's just human nature, Lou. They've got to start with somebody, so they start with the coach, no matter who it is. Football's a funny game, and football supporters are funny people, and they'll always head for the coach.
Well, if you do win, you're just a game outside the 6, aren't you? And you lose, you slide down 3 games out.
4 games.
But had we won, the same questions would have been asked and been talking about, and you know, that's why I say the club is sticking together stronger than perhaps ever has before, and you know, we'll ride it through.
You're both
Really,
all
when you
right.
look at
Don't
it.
talk behind his back.
What do you keep chipping at me for? I was going to ask
Well,
him
you're
something.
trying to set him up, but
I'm not trying to set
you
him
are.
up.
Give him a bit of praise. He's had a pretty tough
I
time.
must say this though, in games like that, the way the game's played, when it comes down to a win like that at the end of the day, it's really a toss of a coin. But it's almost a case where both teams neither deserves to lose. Now, if they had got the one kick through,
Yeah.
he's
Well, that's
won,
the
and
fine
everybody's
line,
saying great stuff.
isn't it?
And you put a lot of
When they
emphasis
come
on
down
that
to that
goal.
so
I mean, there's a
close.
lot of other goals missed during the game.
Exactly.
I mean, you've got to give them equal weight.
No
Everybody watches that.
mention of the 2
the
that
one
he
of,
kicked from outside 50.
Yeah,
one
that
of
was a couple
fantastic
The one of
goals.
Peter Wilson's just on the footage there is going, has done the big Bob Holland leg break, a Shane Warne leg break, and gone back through.
Would you be confident of coaching the Saints next year?
Yes.
Most definitely.
Kenny, can you change your style in any tactics whatsoever?
Beg your pardon?
Can you change your style of coaching?
Well,
in
that
any
was
way?
done yesterday. You know, we were very defensive yesterday, something which I'm not really
Defensive coach.
all about the coaching.
Right.
Yeah, but we did that yesterday, and we all but pulled it off.
Ted, Siren's gone.
Yep.
Ken, thank you very
Siren.
much. Good luck in the second half of the year, and may a couple of those close ones go the other way.
Four wins and back in business.
4 wins and back in business.
Good on
You
you,
heard it?
Papa.
Okay.
That's all he needs.
This is the footy show.
Climbing up his dress.
It's always time for desperation, but what that means in terms of desperation, I couldn't really tell you. But no, we've lost 2 in a row and put in and really a very insipid performance. There's no 2 ways about it. We were all embarrassment to our Guernsey today.
Yes, a nightmare yesterday, and I do think that Lee Matthews will appreciate the week off for the State of Origin to try and figure out just what's gone wrong out there at Collingwood. And yesterday, the Magpies became the latest victims of the North Melbourne juggernaut to the tune of 83 painful points. And a man who's been there in the lean times at Arden Street and now the good times, Peter German joins us. Peter, really success breeds success, doesn't it? It must be a marvellous club to be around at the moment.
Yeah, we've sort of had a few lean years for the last couple of years, and now that Dennis has taken over, as you said, everything just seems to flow.
It's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, is it the mind games more than just the skills? I mean, the skills must have always been there, but now they've flourished.
Yeah, just for some reason it's everything's starting to come to the fore. You know, guys are doing things that we haven't done for years, and as you say, success breeds success, and we're just going from strength to strength.
Do you put Sam, can they win the premiership?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt North Melbourne will play off in the grand final this year, and because they have got they've got that one intangible thing. They've got a sniff of what success is about.
It's most
as you'd
important
appreciate,
too.
when you get a sniff of something that excites you, it stimulates you. And I tell you what, they have.
Well, you're not stimulating anyone here.
Well, I tell you what, they did the best
in the dressing room.
They did the best demo. And there's a collector's item. That was Brad Rowe, I think, kicking one of Collingwood's 5 goals. So get a good look at that, because there won't be too many. And that man there was just sensational. Went through, I think, I counted 6. Someone said he had 7 opponents for the day, but he was just sensational. And Lou, I don't know if you've got any influence at Collingwood at all, but I'd suggest you get the Collingwood fans to hone in on a different ethnic section of the community, because the last time they had a go at Nicky Winmar, he brained them, and that boy there, Adrian McAdam, absolutely tore your club apart yesterday.
Well, Sam, I've got nothing to do with that, but I don't get myself mixed up in those racial problems,
Well,
and
you
neither
presented a
should
jump
you.
at the Rambooker, didn't you?
Oh, well, he's a friend of mine, Ram Booker.
Well, you
I
mixed
can't
up
help
in
it. He's a
it.
good
What, he'd have
guy,
been handy
too.
yesterday at Victoria Park.
And I'll tell you what,
Leave that alone.
it was the best demolition job of a top side, Collingwood, the best
Yeah, you
demolition
love
job
knocking.
of a side I've ever seen in football.
Yeah, you-
and that is,
Oh,
I've
come
ever
on.
seen in football. That's North Melbourne have come from nowhere this year to just take the premiership favourites right out on their knees yesterday. It was a
That league was
sensational
amazing.
performance.
Max, it was amazing yesterday. Just really,
Early
the
days.
whole day, North Melbourne dominated in every facet of the game, all over the ground. Their back line was on top and playing with confidence. The way they're running the ball out of the back line is just magnificent, and really opening up that forward line that is just full of stars. Longmire, Kerry, McAdam.
Brilliant setup.
Hard forward line to beat.
Can I get in now? I'm just trying to force
Yeah,
my way
mate,
in
yeah,
there.
whip
It's been
in
very
there, yeah.
busy. Was that Collingwood's worst game for 3 years?
Well, I suppose the thing that makes them a little bit susceptible is St Kilda beat them at home, and North Melbourne have just, given them a big hiding at home. Now,
Have
they
they
don't
developed a
often
game?
have that happen.
Have they developed a game that doesn't suit Victoria
Yeah,
Park?
yeah.
Have they got Have they got the MCG Waverley style game?
Well, they have some great running players, quick running players. The more space they get, the better they'll be.
Simon, the pace was very relevant there, but Peter, it was a very niggly, frustrating, in fact, a vigorous game, wasn't it?
Yeah, sorry, it was early. Karaoke
Have another
night.
Bundy and Coke.
Karaoke night, mate.
Yeah,
Good on you. You've got reason to sing.
No, we, Wayne Carey, they double-teamed him early in the game, and they were, if you can see here that they were scragging and that sort of stuff, and we expected it. And after that, we just made up our minds to go for the ball, be hard at the ball, and it just sort of went from there.
Well, it's
Max.
winners actually grinners, and I suppose we should say that there were some pretty happy roos at the end of the game. Simon O'Donnell discovered that after the match. You did, Simon?
Yeah, I think I did, Max. Yeah, I'm sure I did actually.
I might get it. Can
No,
I?
I did. Here it is.
Park must be a sweet victory. Yeah, it was a great victory. We really expected they'd come out hard today, and we were really pumped up for it. We got 2 weeks off now, and we gave it our all today. And I think on the scoreboard it showed how we've been playing lately.
The confidence of the club will have to be sky high after this.
Oh, it's been sky high for all year, Simon. I think from the start it's just been a snowball effect, and we're really pleased with how everything's going. Everyone's just really putting in a lot of hard work.
And people have said that North haven't beaten anyone yet. You've definitely beaten someone today at Victoria Park.
Well, as our coach says, you don't just happen to fall on top of the ladder. So we've been doing the hard work. We've beaten sides. It's just a matter of playing the sides that we haven't. And this will give us a great boost for the rest of the year.
There's people who've questioned North Melbourne's ability to be on top of the league ladder. It definitely can't be questioned now. You just don't fall on top of the league ladder, do you?
No, it doesn't work like that. But look, we're happy with when people don't rate us. We know we're a good side now. And look, I'm just so pleased with the efforts of all the players. I suppose we had 26 or 27 or 28 who have represented the side this year, and they've all got to take a slice of what's happened. They've been superb, and they've been really hard at the football, and really determined and aggressive, and you can see it yourself. They're playing a lot of confidence and a lot of desire at the minute.
Yeah, Dennis Pagan, Man Barassi sacked twice. And Peter, I'd just like to say good luck in the handball, but good luck too in the grand final.
That's a
early,
big
but-
call.
I'll play
Well,
off. Don't
Sam's
worry about
mentioned
that.
it, the Messiah, he said it all. Okay, before we
play
quickly
off.
go to a break, a look at Friday night's game. And what a gutsy effort too by Essendon. They came back from a long way behind, defeat Fitzroy. And Simon, they really seem to have it now.
Well, Essendon were playing well, it was a great game. It was a fantastic game. Really good quality football. The first quarter, Fitzroy really should have been a lot further in front. They had a lot of the ball. They ended up kicking 5 goals. Probably should have kicked about 8. Wilden was a great target up forward. They're very good. They had a lot of tackles, a lot of shepherds. That's the style of game. They get in hard at the ball, and they were doing well. Essendon looked a bit proppy, but credit to them. They started to get their act together in the second quarter. From there, outscored them. A lot of good play. Mercedes picks up another 31 possessions. Ola Renshaw showing a lot of maturity for his age. Watson back in the side. Inspirational goal the third quarter.
Was that the turning point?
Well, I think that really lifted
forward.
A lot of them were playing very well, but Watson's goal at that stage was a real lift.
Now, Simon, don't leave it to too few, Essendon.
Maybe the man to play on Alistair Lynch was actually playing school football at the time.
Well, there's talk about that, yes. I mean,
what do you think about that?
Well, it's very hard. Dustin Fletcher was the captain of the side. It was their first game, and usually he wasn't expecting to be playing AFL football this year. I think he would have been playing
What do you think about it, Sam?
Well, I think that this is a personal opinion, not criticising the boy or his family. I think he should have been playing for Essendon.
That's right. I agree.
Well, he's got plenty of time to play for us.
Well, not if they miss the finals.
You've got a commercial break to discuss that one, fellas. After the break, Lou catches up with Slam and Sam. You are one.
Slamming Sam Kekovich will always be remembered as one of the game's great characters. But boy, could he play. A powerhouse centre-half forward for North through the 70s, whose talent was overshadowed by his run-ins with authority. His confrontations with former coach Ron Barassi are legendary.
You know, there was nothing detrimental about them. I think it was just good, clean, hard business. He always had a view, and I might have conceivably had a different perception of how it should be done. But one thing you can rest assured, Lou, in the final wash-up, it always got done his way.
Today, as sales manager for Disco Source, he exposes clients to the latest computer accessories, but not in the same way as he exposed himself many years ago.
Sam, now you posed nude in the Truth. Did that cause any problems with the coach?
Well, it didn't really cause trouble. You've got to understand then it was, you know, crossing a frontier land in those days. I mean, say nudity is all readily accepted in sport these days. But I've always harboured a secret passion, as you're fully aware, Lou, of screen and stage, and I thought that may have accelerated my career, but it wasn't to be.
But Sam has found his niche in the media. He covers the VFA as part of the ABC's commentary team. Before that, he had a coaching stint at Camberwell, which was short on wins, but not on Kekovich's style.
The rest of you are just bloody abysmal. And I'm not talking about the contest getting beat. I can tolerate that. But what I can't tolerate is no detail paid to the principal in application.
Sam, you've got the reputation of using big words. What about giving us a big word for our viewers on the Footy Show?
Well, what about prevarication, Lou?
That'll do me fine, Sam.
Prevarication, you know what it means, obviously.
Yeah,
lies.
Don't tell lies.
Yeah, well, I sincerely trust there's none in this program.
Yeah, let's hope there's no prevarication. And, of course, Sam, you'd be probably the right man to ask the question on this one. What do you think about Slam and Sam? You must have some incredible memories along the way.
Well, I think this sums him up. When he was coach at Camberwell, he said to the players at half-time, he said, I've got 2 words and 2 words only to say to you players. Believe in yourselves.
Yeah, well, they're 2 great words. I don't know what the extra one's doing there. And relief for Hawthorn fans, too, with their team finally, I guess, hitting top form. Dunstall looking absolutely sensational. And, of course, Footscray were just no match for the Hawks. Third quarter, wind, magnificent Dermot, and you've got a comeback scheduled for, not like Jeff Fennick, but 25th of June in the seconds against North, you little beauty.
Hoping to, yes.
Won't
Will you shut up, Lou, or I'll come over there and deck you. I'll start now.
Why don't you turn it up?
Oh, I'll knock you out in a second. Well, yesterday Hawthorn really did turn the corner. They were excellent after half-time, and they actually started the game fairly well. They weren't far enough in front at half-time as they should have been. The man on screen there, Paul Hudson, kicked the first goal of the day, and he kicked 3 in the first quarter indeed and set them alight. Jason Dunstall ended the day with 8 goals and probably kicked the best goal in league footy I've seen since Andrew Bewes kicked one down at Geelong a couple of years ago. But Johnny Platten, if you were to go through the umpires voting at the end of the year in the Brownlow Medal, and Johnny Platten doesn't receive 3 votes for this game, there's something seriously wrong with the way the umpires look at the game.
Now,
sorry, one more.
Thank you.
One other thing, Sammy, they had was Atkins, usually Footscray's driving source, a discard in... Darren Baxter played on Atkins and chopped him out of the game entirely.
One of the continuing criticisms by those who reckon they know is that Hawthorn are too slow. Did they sharpen themselves yesterday, or were Footscray lethargic?
Footscray got lethargic as the game went on because Hawthorn wore them down, but where Hawthorn won the game was in the centre of the ground. They had, led by Platten, their players got the ball and used it very, very well and threw it down the forward line too, Dunstall.
So they mightn't have good leg speed, but they think quickly.
But I think they've just taken a little time to get going, and those players who've been in it, it's like the Russian campaign for some of those blokes. They've been up at the top of the ladder for 8 or 9 years, and now they're starting to get their legs again. They've been at it a very long time, and they're starting to get that enthusiasm.
Now, what about Footscray, Dermy? Where do they fall down?
Footscray really fell down about everywhere.
Every position.
They didn't get the ball out of the centre. Wind was beaten in the centre of the ground. They fell down in the forward line. They had to move Del Rey late in the game. He wasn't too bad at the start of the game. Stanfield started very well, but fell apart. Hawkins started exceptionally well, taking 2 very good marks in the first quarter, but then Ben Allen just totally eclipsed him for the rest of the game.
Allen, isn't he?
He's a good player.
Just on Del Rey, he hasn't sort of found the form he's found in previous seasons. Do you see a problem there? Terry Wheeler seems just down a bit on confidence.
I don't know if it's a problem there, and I don't know if it is a confidence thing, if Wheeler's talking about that. No, because he kicked a few goals that were, took exceptional ability. There was one where he ran out onto the left foot and just snaggled it through, and another one he dribbled for a snaggle. That's
and we'll snaggle through into the next game, Dermot. The Giant Killers Melbourne, they came back to earth with a thud against Carlton. Blues continue their form of performing well every second week, and a pretty convincing victory too, I guess. What happened to Melbourne, Simon?
Well, they didn't get their act together. Must admit that Carlton really did, as you said, in another week, the off week, got their act together.
They were a bit snaggly.
They can't snaggle one, mate.
They were shocking. So, excuse me.
Could Kekovich snaggle one?
No, excuse me.
What about Kekovich?
Well, he did all right. He's kicked 3 goals. They've had Silvani play on him, and Silvani actually ran down the ground and kicked the goal on him. So to have that happen to you, he's really only scored the 2 goals.
Yeah.
So you must say that.
But how did the ball get delivered to him?
No, not very well. Their forward line didn't operate well. The ball, again, the old story. If you don't bring the ball into the forward line, you can't really perform. With a man like Williams, this man here, 44 possessions.
Huge,
he had Glenn Lovett and Andrew Opston at different times of the game, but they gave him lots of room. He really wasn't tagged up, and he showed what he can do when you don't tag him.
Now, Lyon, he was injured through the game, was he?
Well, he actually was injured on Friday night training. They weren't doing any contesting, but apparently...
Friday night training. A lot of teams are going for the Friday night. He actually got a knock in the calf, and he came off in the second quarter.
What about your brother Justin? He's battled with Jimmy Stones.
Well, I want to have to talk to you about this. We might have to discuss him at state selection tonight, because he did play well. He got the ball out of the centre. Melbourne have Jimmy Steins actually reported, and Gilbert reported Steins for allegedly hitting Justin. So
it was an open-handed push.
You saw that, Ted, did you?
Yeah, no, I haven't. Well, I spoke to the boy himself.
Right. But you only want him to stay free for the interstate selections.
Simon,
that's all you're going
for. There's always been lots of talk about young Swartz at Melbourne. Is he doing enough for Melbourne at the moment?
Well, I don't know if he is. He drifts in and out of the game. I think what he does, he can do well, but if you're centre-half forward, I don't know if you've got to do more. You've got to do more than the possessions he's getting. If you look at someone like Carey, who's centre-half forward, I think he's got potential to be a very good player. I'm not sure if he knows that himself yet, but I think he can be very good for them, but needs to do more.
Yeah, so there's a whole forward line down there at Melbourne. They've got to snaggle more goals. Nightmare continues for Sydney. Yes, it's now 24 losses in succession. But a much-needed win to Richmond and Teddy.
You are an idiot.
What do you reckon?
Snaggle. Snaggle.
What repertoire? About the Richmond. Well, unfortunately, Sydney just can't seem to get a hold of a win themselves. They played Richmond, and Richmond played very well last week against Hawthorn, only been beaten by 10 points. I suppose one of the major contributors to Richmond yesterday was Hogg, who've finished up kicking 6 goals in the first half. 1 in the second half, they give him a total of 7 goals. But Sydney, I suppose they tried very hard. the work around the ground, I suppose, has been a vast improvement since Barassi has gone up there. I said a few weeks ago here they were just a complete rabble. I think I call it rubble that Sunday morning. It's a rabble, but they certainly have improved. I saw them playing Sydney last week against Geelong. I thought they improved there, and their performance yesterday, again, I think Barassi and his co-selectors would be very happy with their performance. Still a long way to go. Pardon?
Capacity House there yesterday?
Capacity House, no, it wasn't a very big crowd at all, to be honest with you.
So, Ted,
yes,
the small men for Richmond have held them in good stead. Any big men do anything of note?
Well, I think Big Gale is a player for the future. He's a Tasmanian boy, but he rucks very well. And in the second half last week against Richmond, he almost turned the tide.
He's been playing very well for
He has. And the two smaller blokes, Lambert and Knights, have
Maxfield
started to... Yeah, he kicked 7 goals last week. He's into it again. Just start to find their niche again this year in the competition.
Well, we need to find our niche, and that's to talk about the ladder at the moment. Well, North Melbourne, they're absolutely looking sensational. 2 games clear, 3 teams on 24 points, Hawthorn, the West Coast and Collingwood. And I think Fitzroy's Friday night loss pushing it back to 6th. And either Adelaide or Brisbane, they could move up if they win today. St Kilda, as we've mentioned a couple of times today, they've plummeted all the way down to 13th. Okay, after the break, the State of Origin. Stay with us.
Volvo 850, a very safe car, now performs very, very well.
So, I guess we'll be switching to Telecom Mobile Net Digital.
Not me.
What?
Well, not yet.
Oh.
Because right now, Mobile Net 0 and 8 service is better for someone like me who's out of town a lot. It's horses for courses.
Horses? For what?
Different strokes for different folks. See, someone who moves in and around the city would benefit from Mobile Net Digital.
Why?
Well, it's clearer, longer talk time, far better voice security.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm a little confused.
Well, talk to Telecom Mobile Net. They'll give you the right advice because they're the experts in both 018 and digital technology.
Technology. Now, that's something I can relate to.
You do.
Telecom Mobile Net. We're talking the right advice.
JB Hi-Fi is smashing prices on these magnificent Pioneer Hi-Fi systems with 6-disc multi-CD, surround sound, digital tuner, 5-band graphic and heaps more, down to an insane $1,399. Deluxe home entertainment cabinets are crazy value at $179. They've smashed the price on 3-way deluxe hi-fi speakers to under half price. And Sony Chrome C90 cassettes are down to just $1.95 each. JB, you've done it again.
131166 131166.
It's Pizza Hut's excellent large pairs deal. Any 2 large pizzas delivered for just $19.90, but only for a limited time on
131166.
Well, talk to Telecom Mobile Net. They'll give you the right advice because they're the experts in both 018 and digital technology.
Talk to us now on 018 018 111. It's free. Telecom Mobile Net. We're talking the right advice.
Tonight on Channel 9 for the very first time on television.
Your sentence, community service.
Superstar Michael J. Fox is Doc Hollywood.
I want to thank you.
Experiencing a little southern exposure.
Doctors know more about sex than normal people.
If he can just keep his mind on the job.
If you tell me you're here for a physical.
Woody Harrelson, Bridget Fonda, and Michael J. Fox.
You're going to make my day.
In the perfect prescription for comedy, Doc Hollywood, 8:30 tonight on 9.
Another player at the moment. Probably the captain of the Premiership side, the 1993.
I'd have to say Craig Kelly because he's the only guy who gets to wear a Saab jacket. In return for wearing the Saab jacket, he gets to drive around a convertible Saab, so I'd have to say Craig Kelly.
I'd be all right being Shorey, but no, I'm pretty happy being me.
The ruckman come full forward in the next premiership team. Yeah. That's pretty broad, isn't it? Give nothing away there.
Oh dear, you'd have to say Dermy. He gets a bit of publicity for a guy who's out of footy. He's not doing a bad job.
Okay, Dermot, who would you like to be if you couldn't be Dermot?
Oh,
someone driving a Ferrari?
Someone like that.
Anwar Sadat. He's dead, isn't he?
What game did how many games did you play? How many games did you play?
Oh, he was a good half-forward flanker. He used to snaggle the odd...
Sam Newman.
Well, it is a tight line there between motor cars and Dermot and...
Anwar
Max, I'd like to
Okay.
be Sam Newman.
Louis,
No, you
you're...
wouldn't.
Louis, just
Yes,
be
mate.
boo.
Why?
Because you seem to get all... Oh, you get married a lot too, I must admit that.
Desperately seeking Sam.
I knew I should have asked why.
It's unusual, Sam, not having much to say on that one. All those players, including Sam and Louis and Dermot, would want to be in the upcoming State of Origin series, starting this Tuesday night with Victoria up against a combined New South Wales ACT team. The Vics have had their usual spate of injuries. They practiced this morning. Ted, at about 10 o'clock, give us an update. Who's injured, who's out, who's in?
Well, there's a few injuries there, Maxie. The players that will not take part in Tuesday or Saturday of next week are Hocking, Stoneham, Cameron of Footscray, of course, Gary Pert with his knee, and Tony Shaw yesterday injured his back, and he certainly won't take place in either match. Now, the players who are doubtful for Tuesday night are Williams, McGuan, Collins, Lyon and Harvey
Now,
of St Kilda.
Ted, did I notice that you were bemused by the fact Tony Lockett had an injured wrist in this morning's press?
No, I made a statement that I was at the game and I didn't see a trainer or a doctor out on the ground to look at Tony's wrist the way it spoke about in the paper. But Tony Lockett, let me say this, has never ever said to Goggin and myself that he didn't want to play for Victoria. He's always been very genuine about his approach to state football. Now, we looked at his wrist this morning. He's going to see a specialist tomorrow.
You're a doctor, Ted?
The doctor and I looked at it.
Oh, sorry.
What could you do, Ted?
I could just tell him what the doctor tells him to make sure he gets right to Tuesday.
Well, that's a pretty intelligent comment, isn't it?
Do you still get him on the scales? Do you get him on the scales?
No, we don't have any more scales now. We busted the last lot.
Ted, what's the worst excuse you've had for not playing for Victoria?
With Tony?
No, with anyone.
Oh, the worst excuse I had was from Peter Dacos one day when he rang up one Sunday morning. He said, I can't train this morning because I've got no one else to run the pub and I've got a small beer behind the bar.
Now, Ted, Simon O'Donnell's drawn an inference between you and Bill Laurie. Would you like to comment on that about state football?
I didn't hear the inference.
Well, yes, you did.
I don't think I made it up.
I'm sorry, I should have said that.
Well, what was it? Now, hang on a second. Let him finish it. Go on.
Can't, Simon.
What's that?
Go on.
Inference.
No, I think he's put words in his mouth.
I think he's put words in his mouth. But
sweating,
I think
Simon.
Sam put the inference in the makeup room earlier.
Sam, what
Are
do
you
you
the
think he said?
guru of Victorian football like Bill Laurie is the guru of Victorian cricket?
I didn't know he was.
Ted, if by some sheer coincidence that Victoria are beaten by New South Wales, will you resign as chairman of the selection committee of the Victorian team?
No, it's
You are a little wart.
No, you really want to
That's it.
And a ridiculous question.
New South Wales are going to be a good team.
A very good side, New South Wales.
I presume
and I'm on Ted's side this time.
God, you
too.
can
I'm
beat
right
them
with
with
you.
half a team, New South Wales.
There's one thing you've got to understand about this New South Wales side. They are going to be a very hard side to beat because they've got some very good players in there. You can nod your head. But they are going to be very... And the players who are playing for them are informed players. Maybe the first 10 or 12, but they fall away a bit at the bottom.
I presume you think Victoria will get into the final.
Well,
Will they play
I naturally do, yeah.
Western Australia or South Australia? They're pretty good sides, both those two.
Well, those two sides are playing at Football Park in Adelaide on Wednesday night.
Who do you think will win?
I think South Australia will win because in front of those 45,000 people over there, I know that Malthouse is very keen to win this, and so was Corns, the coach of the Adelaide side.
Yes, back over the fence and into the game, and time now for a very popular handball championships. Today's competitors receive the Pizza Hut cash prize, as well as a sense of wet pack from Gillette, the best a man can get. There's the 4 and 20 pies, Ross Faulkner footballs, the footy trivia game called Rebound, Australia's own energy drink, and from Svita, the ball terror racket and bag. And let's not forget too that our finalist and his partner will fly Australia's own Qantas to Bali for a fabulous end of season holiday at Club Med on Nusa Dua Beach. Now thanks to Qantas and Club Med for that. Now it's over to a man, I guess, who if was playing for Collingwood at the moment would be a bit like Craig Kelly. Lou Richards.
Thank you, Max. Shut up, Ted. Eat your heart out, girls. Look at this for a body. How is it? Oh, you shut up, Ted, will you?
Where's your jockstrap?
They're just jealous of this magnificent body, folks, and you girls at home enjoy yourself while you can. Shane Crawford from Hawthorn's one of the handballers, and also Peter German from North Melbourne. And young Shane's decided to go first. You get 5 shots with either hand, with both hands, I should say, not at the same time. And of course, the moving target. Don't forget that.
Edna's just rung in and she wants the grandson's play suit back straight away.
Listen, he reckons I buy all my clothes at Myers in the boys' department. I don't know if it's true or not.
Children.
Oh, is that right, is it? Okay, silence. Give the boy a chance. Come on, Shane, away you go.
We're on to it. 5.
5 again. Makes him 10. Shane Crawford 10 after 2 shots.
5 again.
15 after 3 shots with the left hand. 5 again makes him 20.
And a bullseye.
Oh, that's good 30. Give him a big hand now, folks. Come on. Now it's Peter German. Left hand, Pete. Good luck. Hang on. Dermot, get on the job there, please, if you don't mind, mate.
Target. Move the target.
Peter German.
Not that quick.
5.
Cheats.
5 makes him 10. Peter German's 10 after 2 shots.
5 again.
15 after 3 shots.
Slow it down a bit.
Bullseye. 25.
Score's level,
Score's dead level at the halfway mark. Aren't they a pack of idiots, this mob? Now, this is young Shane Cook with the right hand. Moving target. Move it just as quick.
Call it. Ted's got call it.
Move the target. 5.
Makes him 35. Makes him 40.
2.
42. Not a good one.
5.
47.
And 5.
Is 52. Now he needs 23 to win, Peter German. 23 to win.
5.
Makes him 35.
5.
40.
5.
45.
5.
50.
50.
5. 55, and Peter German's our winner. Give him a big hand, folks. Fantastic. Bad luck. Where's that thing I've got that thing to give away too, that thing from Pizza Hut.
Have a look in your pocket, Louis.
Cash prize from Pizza Hut, and one for you too. Oh. Sam, look, I'll knock you out. Back to you, Maxie, baby.
Okay, get out while you're in front, Louis. After the break, Sam spends a minute with a man known as Killer. This is The Footy Show.
The brilliant Amstrad FX6000. It's a telephone, answer machine, full-function fax and photocopier. You can even call in for messages. It's the user-friendly Amstrad Tele-Answer faxophone. Only from Amstrad.
When it comes to earning extra frequent flyer points, there really is only one choice. Diners Club. Because every time you use your Diners Club card, you earn 1.5 points for every dollar you spend, which is a lot more than any other frequent flyer program is offering. That's why Diners Club is the first choice for frequent flyers.
At last, Midnight Oil's Earth and Sun and Moon album's out and happening, and now the boys are heading back to town to play live. And there's only one chance to see them this year. The Oils are going to blitz the tennis centre with Things of Stone and Wood this Friday and Saturday nights. Get your tickets now while you can.
My name is Franca Senise. I joined Telecom Family and Friend FlexiPlan to save money. Isn't that so?
Yeah, we can call anybody in Italy.
I call Sarah a lot. Oh, she's got a bad leg.
And a call is only $5 every 5 minutes on weekends.
$5 for 5 minutes. I call Marina too.
And Stefano?
And Stefano!
Telecom Family and Friends. We're talking $5 every 5 minutes.
I'd rather be bald than have dandruff. But that was before Selsun Blue 5. Selsun Blue 5 shampoo with 5 conditioners keeps my hair looking great. Thanks, Selsun Blue 5. Now I have my hair, but not my dandruff.
In Sale's Battle of the Ashes...
Keep going, boys, you're buzzing for Britain.
They may be down, but they're certainly not out.
We're in for a big one tonight.
Can the English make a comeback in the second final?
You look very honest. This is a mere facade.
Brought to you by Myer.
Great start.
Monday on 9.
Troy scores first but behind. Manson, great mark.
Center of the ground. Alessio, top effort, Manson.
Former Magpie and now Lion, James Manson's about to spend 60 seconds with Sam. Much joy in beating Collingwood last week, Jim?
Great joy, absolutely.
How'd you find your best friend Damien Monkhorst?
Oh, pretty difficult, considering you can see he's opened my chin up.
I noticed a bit of thread there. What do you and he have in common?
In common, I guess we both play the guitar. I've given him a few guitar lessons.
Really?
Plays a good version of Stairway to Heaven.
Any similarities between Collingwood and Fitzroy as a club?
Both very professionally run football clubs.
Your dad reckons you're a better guitarist than you are footballer.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Well, that must make Fitzroy happy.
You haven't seen me play guitar.
What's the band's name you play for?
Slam.
Slam. And do you have a personal kicking coach?
Doc Wilden's doing his best.
I hope he's not getting paid for it. You ever thought of playing with your hair in a shawl?
I'm quite happy with the Mark Zanotti way of wearing the hair, the little ponytail, then the big ponytail, and that looks after me.
Well, thank you, Jim. You've just spent 60 seconds with Sam.
No worries.
No, it didn't seem like any worries at all. OK, one match to wrap up round 10, and the sports book odds have Adelaide as favourite, but only barely, and that's on this afternoon's game at the Gabba. Sam, what are your thoughts on the big one at the Gabba?
Well, I actually think Brisbane will beat Adelaide, although Adelaide have...
Yep, I'm with you.
It's just a fortnight off beating the grand finalist in North Melbourne, so they've had a fair run. Pardon?
I'm going along with Mr. Whitman.
I'm
I
with
think
you,
Adelaide
Sam.
will beat Brisbane.
Brisbane will
You think
win
Adelaide
it and
will
be
beat
one game out of the 6.
Brisbane will be one game out of the 6.
After
and
they
of course,
win today.
I think you might be just jumping on the Bears bandwagon just a little bit too soon.
No, Brisbane at the Gabba are playing very well.
I just
Playing very
think
well at the Gabba.
Well, so what form have Adelaide got to speak about?
Well, they've lost 3 of their last 4.
Good form.
Exactly.
Have they won a game away from home besides the very first one against Richmond? I can't remember.
Well, let's get specific. Where are they going to win it, or where are they going to lose it?
Brisbane will win it because they play the ground... pardon? They play the ground better at the Gabba. Adelaide just don't play. Adelaide just don't play well away from home. Who'll play on Modra?
Yes.
Let me tell you, Ted. I think that Chapman will play on Modra.
Young boy again, yeah.
Young
He
boy
played
again.
on Ablett, so they'll obviously give him the hard task.
And he played
each
on
week.
Dunstall.
Yeah.
But Modra is a very exciting player, and of course, drawing the fans will draw plenty of fans just in his own right to the Gabba, and should be a great game. But I don't think Adelaide are up to playing out of their own state, to be honest.
What about the men up the other end? Merritt. I mean, 33 virtually, still playing great football.
Many had written Roger Merritt off last year, but he's had a revival, Ted. He's had a revival and playing terrific football. But I would think that he and the fact that Robert Walls has got that side, a bit like North Melbourne. He's got them now starting to believe the 6 things: attitude, commitment, discipline, enthusiasm, loyalty and persistence, Ted, and that's just about what they're doing.
Well, gentlemen, let's take a little time to have a look at the Premiership odds by Sportsbook. North Melbourne 200 to 1 at the start of the year, and now backed into 5 to 1. Are there any good bets there? What would you like to take? Simon, what would you like? Melbourne at 200 to 1? Not a chance.
I'd like to get... where are the Swans?
You still take St Kilda at 33.
You can have 4 million to 1.
Still take the Saints at 33 through just brute loyalty.
What about Brisbane at 500 to 1 to win the final? So what are their odds to make the 6? I reckon that'd be a worthwhile. That'd probably be around 50s or so to make the six.
You're all discarding the West Coast, the reigning premiers from last year.
What about
and nobody's
Hawthorn?
even mentioned
They're
them. Well,
favourites.
Pardon?
They're equal favourites.
No one's mentioned them.
Well, you don't mention the favourites. What are you talking about? You're trying to pick an outsider, you dummy.
Okay, Louis, later on today on Sports Sunday, Jeff Hutchison reports on the return of Harry Beitzel.
Thank you.
Investigated the missing millions of 3 soccer pools winners. Its sequel was played out in the Melbourne Magistrates Court today when...
The fall of Harry Beitzel was a humiliating and very public spectacle. He left the media and Melbourne behind, but good friends stood firm.
The greatest thing you got on earth is your life, and I trust him with my life.
They don't want me to go down. They know Harry Beitzel, they know the man that they've trusted. They've grown up with me for over 30-odd years. And I'm sure they'll be prepared to see the truth win through.
Big H, Harry Beitzel and his shadow Tommy Laugh. They're a couple of really colourful characters.
See, Tommy got belted yesterday too, or Friday, by 2 real strong men, you know, real mongrel cowards. 82 years of age, and they got him in the backyard and belted him. They are strong men, aren't they, around town?
Well, there was another thing yesterday on the radio too about a guy walking his kids home, and 6 blokes came up and belted him as well. Wake up, you bloke.
Current affairs.
So what team does he play for?
Yeah, well, we'll spend most of the week trying to sort that one out, Dermot, for you. We have had a snaggler, a rip snaggler of a show here this afternoon. Hope you have at home. Join us again, same time, same station next week. This is The Footy Show.
Thanks, I've got a headache. I'm going home.
Next week, Maxie.
Good position now. Off hand. Oh, sensational! Push out. What's it? No, play on. Botox.
Wilson, like a cork in the ocean over his head. Oh my word!
This has been another presentation of Nine's Wide World of Sports. The Footy Show, proudly sponsored by Gillette Sensor, the all-new Volvo 850 and the